Hey everybody, Nate here from WASD20. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about 3 D&D news stories coming out of this past weekend's Stream of Annihilation event. 3 upcoming products that I think look pretty cool, so let's take a look together. So in case you missed it this past weekend, the Stream of Annihilation was a 2-day live stream event hosted by Wizards of the Coast in Seattle. Wizards of the Coast, of course, is the creators of D&D and its current 5th edition. And so Chris Perkins, Mike Merles, and some of the other creative minds were there, along with a bunch of celebrities and prominent nerds and geeks who play Dungeons & Dragons. And overall, they got together and played a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, and they had a lot of interviews and announcements and things like that. And I caught bits and pieces of it, and it seemed pretty cool. So while there were lots of product announcements and interviews and things like that, I thought I would focus on 3 things that jumped out at me as particularly interesting. The first of them is D&D Beyond with Twitch integration. The second one is the Tomb of Annihilation. There we go, the new D&D storyline. And thirdly, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, a new book that's going to be released next November. So first, let's talk about D&D Beyond with Twitch integration. D&D Beyond is a digital tool set for D&D 5th edition that they announced a while back. The beta is currently going on. It's in Phase 1. I did a little video of Phase 1 of the beta right up there. You can check that out if you're curious to see what it is, or you can go sign up yourself. And Phase 2, I think they announced, is starting sometime this summer. I can't remember the exact date on that, but it's coming soon, and I say bring it on. I'm curious to see what else this is going to offer. So far, even in Phase 1, it's proven to be pretty useful to me, just as a really handy, quick reference at the table. I'll have it up on my laptop, and I can really quickly search for things more quickly than I can in the book or in any existing digital tool sets that I have seen. But the new thing they announced is now Twitch streaming integration. And I'll put a little video up here and you can have a look for yourself. Or you can check out the video for yourself. I'll put a link down in the description below. Just a really short trailer that did show some features that look promising, such as you can hover over a character and basically see kind of an abbreviated character sheet. You can see some of their basic stats, any conditions they have on them. You can also see a hit point tracker that's live. I think that when damage is dealt, it will actually show the hit points being subtracted. And I think that viewers can then see kind of some of these basic things as well. It's not just for those who are streaming. That was a little unclear to me that, if I as a viewer, can I hover over these different parts? I don't know if that's going to work. But either way, there's a lot that viewers and players can see right off the bat. That's just kind of built into the way it works. I think that there are streamers certainly who have figured out how to do this stuff. There are virtual tabletops that do take care of a lot of the stuff, things like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. But I haven't seen any of them looking this slick and apparently well integrated, and that we'll have to wait to see. They also showed a little visual turn tracker, so it's really easy to see whose turn it is, and I would hope that that also, lets you really easily input initiative order and all that stuff. Anyway, I haven't used too many of the advanced kind of digital tool sets that are out there, like Fantasy Grounds or Roll20, so I don't really know how this compares, but I can say it looks pretty slick, and if it's really well integrated with D&D Beyond, which I'm hopeful will already prove valuable for me, then this is something that I would certainly look into trying in terms of streaming games online. Still, the big question mark for me is price point, though. What are they going to offer at each price point? Right now, all they've got is the system reference document in the beta, the OGL content, which is already free, and I think will remain free. But then at certain price points, you'll be able to probably subscribe. So we got to wait and see what those prices will be. If you have heard more than me on that, I'd be very interested in knowing what you've heard. The second of the 3 news stories I wanted to talk about here is the announcement of the new D&D storyline, the Tomb of Annihilation. The Tomb of Annihilation is a jungle adventure that takes us far from the Sword Coast region of the Forgotten Realms into this long-forgotten continent of Forgotten Realms, the jungles of Chult, I think it's called, or Chult, I don't know. Anyway, the Lich, Acererak, who you may recognize that name, that's because he is the Lich from the Tomb of Horrors, is now up to no good once again. The basic storyline that we know so far is that people who have been resurrected by magical means, which, let's be honest, that's a lot of D&D characters over the years, are now starting to deteriorate, are beginning to die. And the resurrection spells that had become quite common in many D&D games are no longer effective anymore. And this is all related somehow to what's going on here in Chult. The adventure also seems to contain the presence of lots of exotic beasts. Dinosaurs were prominently featured, lots of undead. Sounds like it'll be interesting. Sounds like it'll be something that's definitely a little break from the norm for a lot of their storylines and the kind of settings they have been placing them in. The last thing I wanted to talk about coming in November is Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And this is a pretty cool looking book. Basically, what my understanding of it is that they're taking a lot of the content they have released in the form of unearthed arcana, and they're compiling the best of it into one book. Now, if you don't know about unearthed arcana, definitely go to Wizards of the Coast website and find this stuff, because there's a lot of good stuff there if you're looking for more character options for your players, if you are looking for new rules and tips and tricks for DMs. A recent one that got really well received was some new downtime rules for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and all kinds of other stuff. And my impression is that, again, they're taking the best of this stuff, these rules that have been kind of softly released in the form of unearthed arcana, kind of like beta, trying to see what people think, and the stuff that was most well received is now being compiled into this book. Maybe there will be some other stuff too. I would hope that there would be some extra stuff, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it looks promising, and if it is just a lot of the unearthed arcana stuff, even though that's available in some form for free on their website right now, it is nice to have all this stuff in one book, a larger collection of new character options and new tips, tricks, and rules for dungeon masters. So I'm all for it. I'm very interested to see what Xanathar's Guide has to offer. So those are 3 of the news stories coming out of the Stream of Annihilation that I found most compelling. I want to hear what you think of them too. Are these 3 products things that you are excited about, that you think hold some promise? And there were a lot of other things announced too. So what are the things that I didn't talk about? Did you find kind of exciting, interesting, or maybe terrible? I don't know. There were some announcements from Gale Force 9 about new miniatures, new board game in the Tomb of Annihilation storyline, all kinds of other stuff too. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you're interested in learning how you can support WASD20, check me out on Patreon. I'll put a link to it right up there. And everybody take care. You'll see me again very soon.